And hello again, hello again. It's nice to, well, I'm not seeing you, but it's nice of you to see me on this, what turns out to be a Monday, and it's May 24th, according to that little icon right there on the computer. And I've still got things set at a weird camera angle because I'm not happy with my lower teeth right now. And I'm tired of talking about them, but at least I have a voice today, and at least to some extent. We tried to do a show for our radio stream, and it took quite a long time to do it. And then, uh, because the computer system that we used decided to change the way that they time shows and schedule shows, I apparently didn't do something right, and it never went off the way it was supposed to. So I was like mad about that yesterday. And then I'm like watching Twitter, and of course that's sort of designed to make people mad for some reason. I speculated that maybe we need a new kind of social media that fills you up with positive, loving endorphins every time you say nice things to people. And to get people addicted to saying nice things to people and about people. It would give you some sort of a sugar rush or something really quickly. So the way it is right now, it's like gambling. It's like you get addicted to losing basically every time you're on social media. And that's kind of the way it was designed with that in mind, how to get people addicted. And apparently, the best way to get people addicted to social media is to make it rough and tumble and get people in there and anxiety ridden and just be as impolite as possible. Now, some people fight against it. Some of us try, and some of us fail. Some of us aren't even trying. But it's like again, an endorphin release if you say something nice about people on a social media platform would be an interesting development, to say the least. And if you could make it just as addicting to say nice things as it is to say things that hurt other people's feelings, that would be a great thing in the world, I think. I'm speculating, but I'm assuming it would be a good thing in the world. I get upset with some of the shows that I like on YouTube. Some of the people that present politics the way I like them start getting into the weird habit of going, well, if this is the way things must be, they must be the way I say they are. Otherwise, if you disagree, you're not a true progressive, or you're not a true liberal, or you're not a true leftist. You're a Republican in disguise. See, I knew you were on the right wing if you disagree with me, and now you're disagreeing with me, so you must be a right winger. And I suppose this happens in the right wing world as well, only on the opposite side. They'll I've seen it a little bit, but I'm not that involved with the right wing politics. I'm more concerned with, the old Elvis Presley song, "Clean Up Your Own Backyard." So since I've always been more aligned with the Democratic Party, I'm more critical of the Democratic Party. So I don't really expect too much from the other party, and I don't feel it's my responsibility to try to change them at all. And not that it's my responsibility to change the Democratic Party, but there is that feeling that I should somehow be a part of changing it. And it doesn't always work out, of course, but you get your message out there. You try, and you at least have platforms to express yourself now. Besides a letter to the editor in your local town paper, we have all these ways of talking back to politicians. Whether they listen to us or not, that's another thing. And that's of course that's hit and miss. They might listen every once in a while, but they're busy fundraising, so they don't really have time to listen to what people are actually thinking. They'll get crib notes from their staff or something. Oh, there seems to be a lot of people angry about this issue, and maybe you should speak to it, and maybe we should figure out how to change the optics so that you look better on this issue, without actually doing anything to help. That seems to happen a lot. And just recently, there was this force the vote issue where some political commentators were adamant about the fact that if you were in Congress, even if you were just at a lower rung, if you'd just been elected to Congress within the last couple of years and you made a lot of promises and to get elected, and you were probably sincere about those promises, but once you're actually in government, you realize what a farce it is. So, and I know this from some experience, having been on a condo board. It's not the same thing as being in Congress, obviously, but it's still politics. And if you're not really the kind of person that's cut out to do wheeling and dealing and compromising, you're not going to last long in politics at all. And what a lot of people seem to do or seem to want is people that will take no prisoners, never ever compromise. And that's the way to get your way in Congress, they think, is if you never compromise and you just force issues to happen. That's a good way to just not have a very long career in politics. And if you do have a long-term game in mind where you hope to hang on to your own values and you hope to be able to do something with them in the future, and you hope other people will align themselves with you and maybe become a part of politics just so that they can be on your team, you can't just go in there and start like doing things on your own and waving magic wands and making things happen. It just doesn't work that way. It's not set up to be that way anyway. We have a system that's set up to keep dictators from taking power. So they've set what they did was they set up our government so that it would be slow and deliberate. And I don't like it any more than anybody else does, except that it does keep them thinking like, well, I've got to compromise with other people. I might be a congressman or a congresswoman from New York City, but I've got to think about those people in Wyoming as well, and because I might need to vote with a senator or a congressperson from that state and make an ally over there. And it's going to take a bit of compromise, and I might need this Nancy Pelosi person on my side, so I'm not going to go and try and destroy her career just to get something, even if it's something that everybody wants, like Medicare for all. If you know that the system is against it, and you're trying to change the system, you can't do it by pushing people around. So anyway, I got fed up with a lot of those people that were almost inciting violence over this issue. And I don't want to be hyperbolic, but it almost seemed like they were wanting their own version of the insurrection that happened earlier in the year, take over the Democratic Party with the progressives. There's only maybe, I don't want to name them because I could be wrong, but it seems to me that there's only 2 or 3 actual progressives in Congress. And that's not really enough to get anything progressive done. Otherwise, we'd have Medicare for all. We'd have better, not just benefits, but that's a word that you don't want to use, but entitlements. We'd have better things going for us, the government working for us and not against us. And that would be lovely. That would be paradise. But it's not going to happen when you've got most of your own party are conservative, more conservative than you are, and only a few of you are sort of on the radical progressive left. And you go, well, look at what happened with the Tea Party and the Republican Party. They kind of took it over, didn't they? Yeah, well, there were a lot more of them. There were a lot more of them than there are in the Democratic Party who want to take over that party. Most Democrats want to work with the party, change the party from within. And, of course, we know that, that hardly ever happens. Usually the party will change you. In my country, party changes you instead of you changing the party. But they try, they get in there, they try, and then they find out, well, these things that I really, really, really believe in, I'm not going to be able to get these done, so I'm going to pick my battles and see what I can get done. And at least it'll be something. It won't be a complete total waste of energy and a waste of time. And eventually, maybe hopefully, if the stars align, I'll be able to do more things. If I get more power, I'll be able to change more things, but I can't get more power just by snapping my fingers and demanding it. Even if there's two or three of us now, you know, it's just not enough to start a revolution in the Democratic Party. There's there's just a lot going against you. Most people in the Democratic Party right now are Reagan Republicans in with a D at the end of their name. They're blue dog Democrats who were more into Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton, who really, you want to call them dangerous lefties. Some people on the right convince themselves that these people are dangerous lefties, but us who are truly lefties would love to see some actual lefty stuff coming out of them. But it doesn't seem to happen, does it? Most things that get done are of the right-wing agenda. Even Obamacare, that frightening thing that we had to fight over for years just to get passed, because Obama was attached to it. Congress didn't want to give him credit for something that was actually a Republican bill that was augmented, and they started calling it Obamacare to demonize it, I guess. But it was actually just a combination, if I'm remembering right, and you'll correct me if I'm wrong. I know you will. I know you will. But it was a combination of Mitt Romney care and Bob Dole care. Now, but because Obama was president at the time, it became like this big left-wing thing where, and then still, it was just like making sure that people were insured. I remember at the time thinking, just if the government mandated that everybody had to get cable TV so that they can be informed by C-SPAN or some other network, if the government decided that everybody was required to buy cable TV, and they sold us on the idea that it would, if everybody bought cable TV from a certain company, the prices would go down. Would the price go down? No, I don't think so. We're required to buy it, so why would the price go down? That's the same with insurance right now. If we're required by law to have it, and I know some of those requirements went away, but that's how it was when Obama was trying to get all this passed. There was a requirement involved that you must buy some sort of insurance, and they would make it cheaper for you. But thanks to Bernie Sanders and some other folks in Congress, we didn't ever have to have those mandates after all. And it was a huge to-do that lasted years and years and years. And so just to get that, what we got out of Obamacare, and some people love Obamacare. Some people who hated Obama love Obamacare. I've talked to some very conservative people that when they got Obamacare, they were like, man, I've never had to pay such a less amount of money for insurance. They were pleased. But other people who were forced to pay, or were afraid that they'd be forced to pay for insurance, it wasn't really working out for them. And there's still a lot of people who are uninsured. And I was more, say what you will about Anthony Weiner, I think he was right that we should just cut out the middleman and not have insurance at all. We just have health care, period. You go to the doctor and you get your needs taken care of. There might be a minimal, tiny fee if you can afford it. But otherwise, the government pays for your health care needs. And the government is your insurance, basically. And that's what people just, we can't seem to have that in this country. Even though in some of the more conservative-leaning European nations that have this already, they would never give it up. They would never give it up. They love their health care. They love paying extra in taxes so that they can save on their medical care. And that's where a lot of us would like America to be. But we're very, very frustrated that we haven't gotten there yet. And I've been hearing about it for 50 years about how FDR and Lyndon Johnson's plans were going to be expanded to take care of the needs of not just people 55, 65, and older, but everybody. It would trickle down. It would trickle down to everybody. Everybody would get the help that they need. But that's been demonized as some sort of communist plot. So thoroughly demonized to the point where even people on the supposed left seem to believe it. So that's what's on my mind today. I wanted to point out that if you get really dogmatic about what has to happen and how it has to happen, and you start calling other people names that are basically on your side, but just have a way of seeing it different, and have this with the force of the vote issue, it was like, I could see your sincerity. I'm not doubting your sincerity, but you seem to be doubting my sincerity, because I'm seeing in the long game, and I'm seeing like that this is not even possible to do. And apparently I was right, because it wasn't possible to do. Otherwise I would have done it, you know. So we're kind of stuck in the mess that we're in at the moment. We'll see incremental change, which, you know, I hate incremental change. You know, I don't have that much time in my life left, and I would like to see major changes happen, but apparently things run very slowly, and that's the way they were designed to go. And maybe there'll be such a thing as reincarnation, and I can come back, and there'll be a lot of good things happening that aren't happening now. But at the same time, everything changes for the good and the bad at pretty much the same rate. So there'll be things in the future, if I do come back as another person or something in the reincarnation way, there'll be other things that are not as good as what we have now, because everything changes. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So there's going to be something bad about everything good, and something good about everything bad. That's maybe that's just philosophy, but it seems to be the way things work. How are things working for you? I hope you're well. I don't want to talk anymore today. Well, I think I do want to talk more today, but I don't want to talk your ear off. So I've probably already done that. So I'm going to say goodbye for now and flip this thing off and send it off to YouTube. I don't know how long I'll be on YouTube, because YouTube is saying that they're going to start getting rid of people that post on YouTube if they're not commercially viable. I have no desire to be commercially viable. If you'd like to keep this show going, if you'd like me to do more of these things, please donate to our website. That's wreckingballradio.net. That keeps these things happening, these YouTube things, and it may not be on YouTube in the future. It may be on BitChute or somewhere else. But if you want to keep me occupied doing videos, that's the way to do it. Go to wreckingballradio.net. Enjoy our web streams and our playlistings, and we have a new web stream up that's more kind of jazzy reggae, some sort of mellow reggae that if you're not in the mood for what we normally play on wreckingballradio.net, there's a second stream up right now in kind of a beta phase at the moment. So it's practice. It's just kind of seeing how things go and how people react to it. And if people react to it in a nice way, we'll keep it going. If not, it'll be a temporary situation. I like it, so I hope that you like it as well. But the only way you can find it right now is through the Live 365 platform. And you go there, Live 365, and do a search there on their search engine for World Mellow Vibe. That's my radio stream there. And also wreckingballradio.net. Two of my streams are there. And on wreckingballradio.net, the website, again, you can find both of those streams and some playlists that I've been making on Amazon, and just enjoy, have fun, and we'll talk again very soon. Once again, where is that little tiny little button? Here it is.